South Park returned this week for an all-new episode entitled Where My Country Gone. The focus was squarely on Mr.Garrison, who has admittedly been pretty quiet in the past couple seasons after having his sex change reversed, and this episode definitely brought him back to how he was in episodes like Follow That Egg, but I'll get into that in a minute. It seems South Park, Colorado is in the middle of a gigantic immigration boom, not from Mexico like you might be thinking, but from the flappy-headed land of Canada. Now, as a Canadian myself, I absolutely adore all of South Park's many Canuck-focused episodes. We really are the only people in the world that you can make fun of on this level and still laugh along with you at the end of the day, and it's clear the South Park writers know their stuff and have a lot of fun writing their absurd takes on Canadians, knowing full well that a good handful of their American fans aren't going to even get that certain jokes are jokes. I mean, I was rolling on the floor when they said the Canadians stop every day at 8 and 11 to play Chuck Mangione music to these. I mean, come on, Chuck Mangione's from New York, for crying out loud. That's not even kind of Canadian. Carbon, of course, blames this whole turn of events on Kyle and his speech-making, which, is really interesting for South Park when you stop and consider how many of their greatest moments in their best episodes have all been based around speechifying, but here Kyle just gets sandbagged at every turn. Eventually, Garrison's jingoistic, nativistic rage gets him fired from his job, but by this point he's already amassed a major political following just for saying horribly racist and outrageous things. Yes, if you couldn't already tell, Garrison is basically being Donald Trump, and much like Trump, he has no real political or immigration knowledge, but damn it, he's angry about it, and he's gonna let everyone know about his plans to literally fuck people to death. On the other side of the episode, we have a very cute little story about Butters being browbeaten by the other guys into dating a Canadian girl in hopes of smoothing over all the racial tensions. This is a bit hilarious for a dozen reasons, be it the Canadian dinner made up entirely of poutine and ham, or the fact that the kids keep referring to Lion King 2 instead of Romeo and Juliet, even quoting the movie. FYI, I've seen Lion King 2 Simba's Pride probably way more times than is healthy. Eventually, we discover that the Canadians are not in South Park by choice. They were forced to leave because a big blowhard that most people treated as a joke managed to get elected president. Keep in mind, Canada does not have presidents, we have prime ministers, but again, it's all part of the joke. That man, while never actually named, is clearly Donald Trump. Yes, we get big, flappy-headed Canadian Donald Trump in this episode. I found the twist especially hilarious given how often pissed off Americans on social media will loudly proclaim that they're moving to Canada every time something happens that they don't like. In the end, Where's My Country Gone was a very strong episode. It's a show that says while we may laugh at Trump's antics now, if America isn't careful, they might actually be stuck with them for 4 years. It's also a show that asks the question that maybe people who immigrate illegally don't do so by choice, but are forced into it by circumstance, and that if their own country could be fixed, they might possibly return there. I know I'll also probably be quoting Maple Fever now for a good long time. Oh my god, that's so good. If the episode falters at all, it's because the Caitlyn Jenner and PC Principal gags are a lot less funnier 2 weeks in a row. Then again, I guess that's the price you pay for the show having continuity now, I guess. It will be an adjustment period. I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10.